Can everybody hear me now? I'm registering here, so I'm hoping you can hear me. Please type in the chat box if you can hear me. This is frustrating. Can you see the screen that's up with the QuickBooks screen on it? Let me stop sharing. And that'll just go back to a picture of me. Not that that's overly thrilling, but am I streaming video? Can you at least see that? Well, this is going horribly. Okay. Folks, I see I have some folks there, but I don't see that you can hear me, and I don't know that you can see me. Can you see me now? I got 3 viewers in here now. Oh, there you go. I see Ivana's there. I can see and hear you now. Okay. Wow. All of a sudden it's all coming through. I guess it was a delay. All right. So what I'd like to do is, if you can all hear me now, just click a Y in the chat box and I'll know that you're all here and I can get started. I know we're running 3 minutes behind, but that's okay. I see yes from Yvonne. I only have 2 viewers left. So Yvonne, you're one of them. So we're going to get started right away. And I see Sheila says yes. So I can see the no company open screen. That's correct. That's exactly what I want you to see right now. As we get into this, we're just going to start off. When you open up a company now, I've already set up a company called Contract Trainer Sandbox. Some of you were here before, and I set that up as a brand new company. Well, I've deleted everything that we did that night, and I'm reopening it as a brand new company. So I'm in QuickBooks. All I've done was open it up. That was the home screen that comes up, and I am opening up the Contract Trainers page. Takes a second here. It all comes up. There we go. And I'm just going to minimize this because we don't need to see it. Matter of fact, view, we'll make it a top icon bar, and that just makes my life a little easier. Plus, it'll make your screen a little bit bigger that you can see everything. All right, good. All right, this is our home page, and this is where we're actually going to get some things started. This is where you're going to go to your vendors. Now, when I talk about vendors today, these will be things like our hotels and things like that. Our customers for tonight, I'm just going to say our contract training company, because I know we have people here from several different companies. So tonight, we'll just talk about contract training companies. Those will be our customers. Not worried about employees. Do any of us have additional employees that are working for us besides just ourselves? If so, put a Y in the chat box. Okay, so it's just us, and that's good. So the first place I really want us to go is to the chart of accounts. And if you look over here on the screen, over towards the right-hand side, it's called your company icon set. And you can go to your chart of accounts. There's a much faster way. If you hit Control-A, it'll pull up your chart of accounts, and that's what we're looking at here. Now, when you turn on QuickBooks originally, the numbers are not going to be in there, so I'm just going to turn them off really quick because I want to show you how to turn them back on. This is a pretty cool tool for you to have because I don't know about you, but I know about me. I'm a whole lot faster on the 10 key side of the keyboard than I am on the QWERTY side. And when you don't have numbers up, QuickBooks doesn't understand the difference between the Ford truck account, capital F-O-R-D, and the Ford truck account, small F-O-R-D. It thinks they're two different accounts. So by using numbers, it makes it a lot easier. By the way, oh, Yvonne, we'll have to have a discussion on that afterwards. That was interesting. I got a message here that two of the contract training companies actually merged. That was interesting. I did not know that. Is that something new? Anyway, while you're typing that in, I'll keep going. So I want you to get used to having the numbers. It'll make you a lot more efficient. It'll make things go much, much quicker when we're setting up QuickBooks. So to set it up, you go into Edit, Preferences. By the way, this is being recorded, and in the link that you'll get when this is all done, you'll be able to review this over and over and over if that helps you out. So just so you know that you have that. So you go into Edit, Preferences, Accounting. Then I go into Company Preferences, and I use account numbers and show lowest. And when I hit OK, because I don't have any accounts that were not created by QuickBooks, all of my accounts have numbers attached to them. So I'm going to scroll up to the top so that you can see all the way from the top. The thing you need to realize is these numbers are not arbitrary. They're not just willy-nilly. There's actually an intelligence system built into them. And if you come from an accounting background, you probably already know that. Anything that starts with the number 1 is an asset. Number 2s are liabilities. Number 3s are owner's equity. 4s are income. 5s are cost of goods sold. 6 are expense. 7 is other income. And 8 is other expense. Don't worry about it if you didn't get all that. I will be more than happy to supply you with a list of all that good stuff if you need it. Quick email to me. I have a PowerPoint slide. I can send it out to you that I can even make a PDF. Give me 1 second. I just got to get a sip of tea here. I was out in California last week, and I wound up catching a cold, and it's just killing me. Okay. Once we have our numbers set up, we have a couple of more accounts to do. Now, many of you will be doing accounts on the fly. We're going to set up a couple of accounts right here. The first one I want to set up is a bank account. You'll notice we don't have any bank accounts set up. So I'm just going to hit Control and the letter N for New, and a window comes up that tells us about our different types of accounts. And because I said we were going to do a bank, a bank account is what will show up over here. I hit Continue, and our number for the bank, it starts with a 1. You can put anything after it that you'd like. I use 10101. And the account name, I just use operating account because I have an operating account, a savings account. I have an overages account. So I have quite a few accounts that I deal with my bank, and I just call it an operating account. You can call it anything you want. You can put a description in here that it's your checking account or whatever you want to do. Just know that QuickBooks does not need your bank account or your routing number to function. Now, if you have a payroll company, if you're doing electronic downloads, the bank may need this filled in with your account number and your routing number, but QuickBooks doesn't need it to move forward. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to hit Save and New. Do any of us in here use a third-party leasing company? Like I use HQ Solution. Do you have to put a number in? Mary, if you choose to have numbers on your accounts, you need to put an account number in. If you're asking me about the bank account and the routing number, no, you don't need to unless your bank requires it for payroll or for electronic banking or electronic downloads. But other than that, no, you would not have to put a number in. The only reason that I have to put one in is because I turn the numbering system on, and it has to be on if you turn the numbering system on. Did that answer your question, Mary? All right. Well, while you're typing there, I'll keep on going. We're going to create another account. I don't know if any of you are using any of the leasing companies. I do use one, and I for me, it's been a good thing. I come from an accounting background, and while I'm out on the road and I'm focused on bringing money in, Deidre, so HQ, asking about the number box. Yeah, so what I do, if I was going to set up another bank account, the way I do it in my account is I have 10102, and I call it my HQ Solutions account. It's not a real bank account. It is a paper account. It's just created so that I can keep track of the money, because we all know if you're using a leasing account, the money that winds up going into your bank is not the amount of money you actually made, right? Because it goes to HQ Solution, paychecks. I see a couple of others in here that people have put in, and I think it's a great service. So I can focus on my job, and I know my taxes are being paid. And to be honest with you, it really makes my wife's life at home a lot easier, because we know come tax season, we're all covered. There's no money hanging out there, and it's all finished. So I set up an HQ Solutions account as a second account, and it's going to ask me, do you want to do online services? And normally I say yes, but this isn't a real account, so I'm going to say no. When I get my audit from my contract company, I put the amount that's coming in through there. I verify it against all my invoices, and that's where my deposit goes. We're going to show you how to do that in a little while. That's where it goes. Then all the deductions that come out for federal withholding, Social Security, Medicare, right? My 401k plan, I have all that deducted from the HQ Solutions account, and then I make the deposit into my operating account. I know it sounds a little crazy, but here's what happens. I get to keep track of all of my payroll expenses, and my operating account matches my reconciliation at the end of the month. Huge benefit, rather than trying to figure out, oh, well, this didn't really come to me. This went here, this went there. Done, and you're covered. I'm going to show you how to do that in a little while. We're going to take care of that for you. I just wanted to show it up here. Okay. Now, we're also going to need to set up some expense accounts. If you look down here, there's one account that's marked travel expenses, and it's 68400. I'm going to ask you to. This is the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way if you don't want to, but I have found it works much better. I'm going to create a couple of new accounts, and I set up a top account under the expense line, continue, and I call it, well, first thing you want to do is put it as a sub-account of travel expense, okay? And I call it my contract training, CT, travel expenses. And the reason I have this, and I know several of us have more than just what we do for our contract training company. Some of us are doing multiple things. I'm one of them. So I like to keep track of all my contract training travel expenses separately from, like, when I'm out doing my public speaking or when I'm out doing my magic. I have those listed separately, because obviously on my contract training travel expenses, that's going to be reimbursed to me. So I like to have it in here separate, and this way I can see at a glance if my contract training company has missed paying me back for anything. So that's why I set it up in here. So it's 684, and then I'm going to go 68401, and we're going to call this, because that's what the CT travel expense would be. I'm going to hit Save and New, and I'm going to do 68402, and we'll call it Hotel, right? And I'm going to call it Hotel CT, so I know that's what it is. And even still, I'm going to put it underneath the CT travel expenses. Okay? And we'll do another one. I'll do car rental and car fuel. Save and New, 68403, and it's car rental. And again, it's underneath. I could just do 68401 and make it easier. I'm just trying to show it to you. That's what I'm trying to do. Save and New, and last but not least, we'll do 68404, and we're going to call this car fuel, and I can make it a sub account of 68401. Save and close. Now, what I want to show you is that now all of these expenses are showing up. They're still in my travel expenses, and they're under CT travel. But all of these here under our contract training companies, we get reimbursed. So when I get paid back, I'm always looking to make sure that these zero out. If I just put it into regular travel, then I got to figure out, did I get reimbursed for all my stuff from CT? That's why I separate it out, and it has worked so much better for me. There are a couple of other ones in there that I would recommend that you do, depending on how your company works, things like parking and tolls. My particular company, I'm responsible for the first $15 in tolls. I'm responsible for the first $15 in parking per day. So I would create another account, Control N, and it would be an expense, continue. And the way I would do it would be this, 68410, and then I'd have less than $15 parking, and this still goes underneath 68401, and save and new, and then I do 68411, and then I would have parking 68401. And the reason I do it this way, no, I wanted to go save and close. There you go. The reason I want to do it this way is because when I do get that, I was in Boston a couple of weeks ago, parking for more than 4 hours. You're doing an 8-hour seminar, so you're going to be there, was $45. Well, I put the first 15 in here, and I know that's not going to zero out. And then I put the rest of it here, so it would zero out. So on my bill for the day, it actually had 2 lines for parking, $15 and then $30 to get to the 45. And I do the same exact thing with tolls. Now, all of a sudden, when I'm not getting reimbursed, if something gets missed, I can be on the phone with my contract training company. And I did have it happen literally just a couple of weeks ago. One of my parking things didn't get picked up, and they didn't realize they had the receipt. And we were able to show it to them, and boom, it got reimbursed to me right away. So it's a great way to keep track of some of the stuff that we do. Does anybody have any questions on setting up accounts, or are there any specific accounts that you'd like to discuss? If you don't have anything, just put an N in the chat box so that I know I can move on. Okay, I got nothing coming through. All right, well, I'm going to keep moving on then. I haven't seen anything. So then I'm going to move on. I'll come back to it. If a question comes up, I'm more than happy to come back to it. Sheila says no, thank you. The next thing we definitely want to go into is, thank you, Deirdre. The next thing we want to go into is setting up our items. This is an important part because this is how we get paid, folks. So to get into our items, you go into list and item list. That's one way to go. Or the other way that you can go is you just go into items and services. Either way brings you to the exact same spot. And you'll notice we don't have any in here. So again, in the module, I'm going to set up a couple of new things. Control N for new. And basically what we do are services, right? So on my first item name is going to be per diem, all right? And this is daily per diem. Whatever your rates are for your companies, they are what they are. I'm just going to make ours for tonight $100. This way I'm not showing any partiality any place. Okay. And this is our income. This is how we make our money. So this is going to be attached to an income account. Depending on how you do yours. Now, I consider my speaking as part of my consulting income. But if you didn't want to do it, if you wanted to do it as contract training seminars, you can do that too. Watch what happens, because it's going to tell me that does not exist in my system. So I'm going to set it up, and we're going to make it a number 4, because remember 4 is income, 42800, and it's part of our regular income tax line mapping. If you need it, it's your gross receipts, save and close. And when I hit OK, it doesn't like DM. Did I spell it wrong? D-I-E-N. Oh, I think I got it right. I'm just going to leave it and add it, and we'll worry about it later. Add. And then we can see that the daily per diem is in there, and we're going to come back to that again later. I'm also going to set up Control-N. I don't consider it a service charge. I consider it an other charge, and our item name here would be commissions. Okay, and then in-room commissions. Now, you can break this down: loyalty program commissions, royalty program commissions, resource commissions. You can break that down as much as you want from me. I just leave it all in as commissions. The only 2 commissions I currently do are in-room commissions, and I also have one for web commissions. You know, when the folks call in a couple days later, and next thing you know, you got that extra little bonus in your check. That always plays out nice. Doesn't happen often, but it's there. I leave the amount blank because obviously my commissions each day are going to be different. I have different people in the room, right? So again, I'm going to make it 42900, and we're going to call it in-room commissions. And tab, it's got to be set up very quickly. You see it's income 429. I can put in commissions just like that, save and close. And now when I hit OK, now I have that. I know last time I did this, Ivana, I don't know if it was you who asked or it was somebody else. Well, what happens when I get speaker fees? Not only do I get my per diem and commissions, but I get speaker fees. Some of us get that. Set it up as a separate speaker fee. Right, because this will show you how to set yourself up and be sure that you have everything else that you need in here. Now, I also have in mind set up travel savings. You know, when we get a cheaper hotel and we can get 50% of it back from our companies, I have those in there. That's all income to me. Does anybody have any income accounts, any income items that they'd like to discuss? An N in the chat box would go fine to say no. Every time I ask you guys to put something in the chat box, it gives me a chance to take a sip of tea. All right, we'll move on. And again, these are some great things to have for different kind of income that you have coming up. Please don't limit just the things that you have to your contract training. I know that some of us that are on here tonight actually have other things that we sell. Well, each of those should be an item in there for yourself as well. All right, I'm going to get out of here. All right, and let's go into setting up our invoices. Now, this is the one thing that kills me when I talk to other contract trainers. They're spending their Saturdays, their Sundays, their family time, their off time. Their program manager would go there too. Mary, I have to ask you a question based on what you said to me. Program manager, if you're making money as a program manager, that item would go there for sure. If you're having to pay a program manager, that would be an expense. So not exactly sure what you mean. The answer is yes, but it may have to go somewhere else as well. Yvonne, travel savings would be some of the items. Let me go back to the list. View, list, item list. Travel savings, I would definitely put in here. And travel savings for me is also another charge because it's not a service, right? And this is income to me, even though it's travel savings. So I would have this probably as a 42500. And hit OK. I do believe I'm seeing your chats. Yvonne, are you not seeing our chats? I just think there's a little bit of a delay because I'm looking at something that says live chat. Mary said products, and then you asked, are you not seeing the chats? So I just don't know how far of a delay that is. And you said yes for another trainer. So if you're sitting in for another trainer, yes, that's income to you, Mary. And the way we would do that is right here like this, and I hit OK. There's travel savings, Control N, and then we could have program manager. Now, to me, that is a service, so I'm going to put program manager and performed and again, not knowing what all the different, yeah, there's a delay. All right, sorry about that, Yvonne. Remember, on my end, QuickBooks takes up a lot of memory, so I'm really pegging what the computer can do. So that's what's doing it. So rate, different companies do different amounts. Let's just say it's $50, and I'm not going to worry about it from there. And again, I would set up another account called Program Management Income, because you might have a program management expense. Yes, I understand what you meant. I believe that's what you meant. That's why I'm setting it up on the item list, and it's income to us. And set it up. Yeah, because I can honestly tell you there's probably about a 2-second delay from my left screen where I'm doing the typing to the right screen where I see it show up. I have 2 screens on my computer. That's how I'm keeping track of all this stuff. All right. And we can make this 4 to 400. Okay. And there you go. And now when I hit OK, we have the per diem, the program manager, the commissions, and it gives us the amounts in some of them, and some of them obviously it doesn't because we don't know what some of those numbers would be. Oh, wow, it's that far back. All right, Yvonne, thank you so much. It's 30 seconds to a minute. So, yes, Yvonne, it's 5:28 in Oregon. Well, it's 8:29 here in Florida. So I was out your way last week, Mary, in California. All right. And because Mary did ask the question, Mary, if you have different products, right? Because I know you do. If you have different products, I would have each product set up as its own item. So item 1, item 2, item 3, of course, give it its name. Now, I would have them all tie into something called product income. That would be my chart of accounts. And on my items list, I would break down by item what the sales were. And this is definitely something that's going to help you break down what's going on in your business. So that's a pretty good one. All right. Any other ones? And I know I got to give you 30 seconds to a minute, so I'm okay with that. And again, I'm willing to come back. I'm not worried about that. There's good stuff in here. I'm a little disappointed this is so slow tonight, but again, I think that has a lot to do with it's my machine running QuickBooks, and it's a dog. QuickBooks, not the machine. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. Okay. The next thing I really want to address, and again, this is one of the things that I hear so many trainers complain about, and it's a pet peeve for so many people, and it's all about downloading stuff, or not downloading, but they spend their whole weekends, they spend all of their information, no problem, Mary. They spend all of their time on Saturdays and Sundays trying to get all their paperwork together and doing their invoices. Folks, I do this by Friday night. Now, I will tell you when I come home, I scan everything into Neat Receipt, and I create a nice little PDF for myself that I can refer from my QuickBooks to my PDF screens. I have everything I need. And even when I'm out on the road, they call me up and they go, hey, Scott, we're missing a gas receipt. I can pull up the PDF and go, yeah, it was page number 17 of the 22-page PDF that I emailed you. It's all there. And if it's missing, well, then I know I got a problem, but I do all my checks and everything on my own. I have everything. So what I really want to talk about is setting up your invoices, because this is where we fall down, and this is where I believe it costs us more money than it needs to. Okay? Your customer and job, we're just going to make it your contract training company, Inc. Whoever you belong to, that's who we're talking about. Okay? Over here, it's asking for classes. This is a great way to start seeing what topics are paying you back. What I do is I set up the classes just like early when we set up edit and we went to preferences and we set up accounting and company preferences and we turned on the numbers. I turn on something called class tracking. Now, when I'm setting up my classes, what my classes are my topic codes. QB for QuickBooks, SU for sales and use tax, right? All the different ones I do. Well, I'll tell you, the ones I'm doing today are not the ones I started doing 2.5 years ago, because I found that there were certain ones that I just wasn't making money on, and I cut them because it didn't make sense for me to leave the house and not make enough money to support the family. I'd rather focus on what brought money in. So what I do is I'll have you set up a class. Like for me, my favorite, right? My first class is my favorite class, or the best class that I do. Now, obviously, these should be your codes. Also, by the way, I did forget to say this. After you set up your customer, set up your jobs. Every run for me has a date, right? My end date is the way they set it up for me. So I have this one set up to be January 30th, 2015. That would be the last date of the run. If I went out again the following week, it would be 2/7/2015 and then 2/14/2015. And I keep going down through that. This way, I can actually pinpoint every dollar from each run I'm on. Now, I set up things like my per diem, quantity 1, per diem, daily per diem. I would usually probably put the date. It's $100, and it went for my favorite class, right? And then the next day, I did it again. And I'm going to set all these up just like that. So at the end of my week, all 5 days are here. So all 5 of my days are there. I've got my invoice set up. By the way, my invoices for me, for QuickBooks, it makes it easy. It's the year and then the invoice number. And then down in the memo, I put my contract training number, right? If I was trainer number 100, it would be 100. And then it would be dash 0130215. And now I know that this invoice ties back to that invoice for my contract training company. And you can even, and I've sent these in to my contract training company right from QuickBooks. But because I referenced that number and I break everything down, now we haven't put the bill on here yet. That's what we're going to do next. Because I put everything on the invoice and then I submit them all the backup documentation, this serves as my invoice. So when I'm getting paid, it makes it very, very easy for me to do what I need to do. Hopefully you can see some benefit in that. That's a powerful, powerful tool there for you. So I would list all 5 of my days per diem, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'd have $500 here. But we all know that while we're out on the road, it isn't just income that we come across, right? We all have to lay out money for our hotel bills, sometimes rental car, sometimes just rental car fuel. Plus, we're buying meals out on the road. So I'm going to save this just as we are for right now. I'm going to have to. There you go. There. I just did a save here, and I'm going to close it down because let's go into entering some of the bills. All right, we set up our customer. Now let's start setting up some vendors. So I'm going to go to my vendor, and I'm going to go into entering the bill. Now, there's a lot of times I go right into paying the bills because let's face it, When we're standing there at the hotel, I don't have to enter the bill and then pay it 30 days later. I'm entering the bill right now, right? So I'm going to go into enter bills, depending on how you do it, right? And let's say I stayed at the, let's see, who did I have in there for a vendor last time? The Hyatt. Okay, so the Hyatt is going to be our hotel for tonight. And it's going to be on 01/29/2015. Reference number, it could be their invoice number, it could be anything. Doesn't matter. The amount due, last time I stayed at a Hyatt, it was $179. I don't stay there often for obvious reasons. And then the bill due date is 01/29/2015. Terms due on receipt. Memo I'm not that worried about, but here's where things come together for us. The account is at 684, and we can see it's hotel contract training. Do you build an invoice for each week or day? Mary, it says, Mary asks a question. Do you build an invoice for each week or day? Do you include the hotel, card, gas program manager, and savings? Mary, I build 2 invoices per week. One of them is all my per diem and expenses, and then the other one is my commissions. And I'm going to explain, that's exactly what I'm doing right here now. We're going to get ready to set up to put the hotel, the car, the program manager expense. Now, if I was a program manager doing it for another trainer, that would be income that would go onto the invoice as well if it was in the same week. I don't know that ever has come up for me. I've never been a program manager for anybody else. So I don't know if like you're working one week and then in the same week you're a program manager for somebody else. I've never seen that. But if it's the case, I would put it all on 1 week. So let's do this, right? I have the hotel contract trainer, 179. I was at the Hyatt in Albuquerque. I'm making that up. Customer job, 01302015. That's going to assign this expense. I'm pointing to the screen like you can see me. That's going to assign this expense to that invoice job. So it's actually going to take this little check mark here where it says billable. Watch my cursor's going around right here. That's what's going to let me put it on the invoice and bill it back to my contract training company. And then the class is going to be against my favorite, right? Let's also do a 684. Let's say that I had to pay the car rental this week. Oh, well, I wouldn't do that here. Never mind, because it's a different bill. I got a little bit ahead of myself. So I'm going to hit save and new. The next bill is going to be to Alamo car rental. I'm just going to do a quick add for here. 129 reference number is whatever it was. Amount due, let's say it was $255. Oh, okay. I understand now. Mary, I'm just going to ask you a question, and I don't mean it to be rude. And if you don't want to answer it in public, do it in private, please. When you're program managing for Rob, do you guys, is it all one business or do you guys have 2 separate pots? Because obviously if it's 2 separate pots, you're going to want to have your own QuickBooks. If it's all in one pot, you don't even have to answer. It's fine. If it's all in one pot, yes, I would set up my own invoice if you bill the contract training company separately. If Rob bills it all in one, I would have the program management fee on the original invoice. And that'll be clear in just a couple of minutes. I'm not trying to delay. There's just so much I want to share. Amount due, let's get back to the car rental, right? Amount due is $255. I'm going to go 684. This is my contract training car rental. I had a Kia Soul. Again, making it up. Customer job is 01/30/2015. Also billable, and it's against my favorite class, right? Because that's what I'm doing here for the whole time. You, Mary, may want to set up a separate class as program manager. to see how much money program management is bringing in as well. That might be a cool thing to take a look at as well. Don't have to, just something that you can take a look at doing. All right, so I'm going to hit save and close just like this. And then I'm going to go back to my invoice. The fastest way to get back to the invoice, let me close out of it. Fastest way to get back to the invoice is hit Control-I. All right, and then all I have to do is go. Why that? There's a change. I used to be able to go back to it. All right, clear it out of here and then look for. Okay. So that's okay. I'll just do a Control F, and I'm going to look for an invoice number 2015-0003. Find, and it's back. Okay. The reason I'm doing this stuff is because now we have billables that we're going to want to put onto this job right here. So over here it says add time and costs. All right, I just opened it up, add time and costs. And click on expenses, and there you can see there's our Hyatt, there's our Alamo rental, and when I hit OK, Mary, it shows you here. These are all the expenses, $434 in expenses broke up for the Hyatt in Albuquerque, the Kia Soul. Now when I hit save and close, not only am I putting together my invoice that has all of my per diem, but it has all my expenses. That's what your contract training company is looking for. They see this, all right? They see these numbers here. That's going to be what matches. That's what we used to do on our own, and he program manages for you too. That's kind of cool. Okay. I'm reading Mary's comment. We each get paid by the CTE. We each bill each week. All right. Cool. Well, if you're each getting paid separately, then I would have your own invoice, of course. That would be the way I would do it because I wouldn't want the same invoices coming together. But there's no there's no reason you guys couldn't get away with setting it up this way. And then and this is everybody. Then you have your all your car rentals or your hotels. Now, obviously, let's say I went out and I ate at wherever that place was that you got that huge bowl of soup, right? That's the place I went and ate. That's not reimbursable. So when I'm entering my bills, vendor, enter bills, or pay bills, well, I can actually just do this right on the register, Control-R, right? And get out of here because I didn't save this yet, so I have to save it. Replace. Ignore. It's not that important for any of those things. Okay, so now I do Control-R. I'm going to go into my operating account, and I'm eating at the place called the Big Bowl of Soup. Okay, and it's a vendor that I don't have set up, and the payment, let's say it was a nice meal and I got out of there for $18. I have no idea. All right, $18. And then I'm going to put it up underneath meals and entertainment. But if I do that, that's a little bit different because you get different allowances from the IRS when you're 50 miles away from home. So I'm going to put it up underneath contract trainer expenses, meals. Set it up, and again, it's already subbed, and I'm going to make this 68420, save and close. But the important thing I want to make you aware of here is this. I'm going to pull this whole thing up so that you can see it. It's the same look as the bill. We have the account, this, It was a big bowl of soup, right? Customer job, I'm still going to peg it to the 013, 02, 015 because that is part of my expense of being on the road. So I want to make sure that my jobs are paying me back. I know when I go out to California, there's a higher expense for my meals. It's just California costs more. That's all I can do about it. There's nothing else I can do. But then I come over here and I click off billable. This is going to be expense that stays on my books, and it's not going to get passed over to Fred, to my contract training company. All right. And this is my fave. And then when I hit save and close, it takes money out of my bank account, which we didn't put any money into. But when I go back to the invoice, Control I, the main, I go back. It's never going to show up here on that invoice to be billed to my contract training company. So that's what separates some of my own expenses from my contract training expenses. And this makes it like super, super easy to keep track of that. That said, does anybody have any questions on any of that? I know that was a lot of stuff, and I'm not trying to go fast. It's just I kind of get excited. This excites me. So hopefully, if you have questions, I can get to them. While you're doing that, let me... No, I can't do it from here. If I can, I don't know how. So, okay. Mary says, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to keep going. Again, if you have questions, I will zip into the chat box. I will keep looking at everything that we need to look at. Let me see what this is here. I don't know why it's doing that. So. All right, now here's the cool part. Now that we have all this crazy stuff set up, right? When I go into my reports and I go into my profit and loss, I can take a look by job and take a look at what each week, what it brought in and what it cost. Yes, I do. Sheila, I do submit my QuickBooks invoice to my company. Now, I also do submit in an Excel spreadsheet because they asked for it, but I have never had a problem with my QuickBooks form because it references, let me go back to that invoice, Control I. Because it references their... Okay, Yvonne, give me 1 second and let me finish answering Sheila. Over in the memo field here, Sheila, this would be my contract trainer's number. Let's say I was contract trainer number 100. I'm not, but let's just say I was. And this is the contract number that I'm out with them with. That's how they identify me. Okay, so... that would be the way you would set that up. And that's why I can use my QuickBooks invoice. Okay. I'm hoping that answers your question. If it does or doesn't, just submit. Remember, there's about a 1 minute delay. I'm reading Yvonne's question. So the per diem I get from my contract training company is supposed to offset those types of expenses. For example, the big bowl of soup. How does that work? Well, I'm assuming... And that's why we went, see, I knew it was you earlier, right? When you set up your income, you set up your speaker fee, your per diem, and your commissions, Yvonne. So when I go up to my item list, I'm going to have my per diem, I'm going to have my commissions, and then I'm going to have a speaker fee, which is the way you get paid. Your big bowl of soup, you can't bill it back to your company, but what happens is this. I don't know how much you get, but let's assume it's $50 a day. right? That's your per diem, $50 a day, plus you get your speaker's fee of X, whatever X is. So you're going to get your $50 a day, that's income. And each day, that $50, as long as you stay under it for your incidentals, going to the movies, right? If we ever have time to go to a movie, eating out, whatever you're doing, that expenses it away. Anything that's left, you've already claimed it as income anyway. So it just becomes an offset. I guess that's the way you would put it. If I spend less than my per diem, then it's income. If I spend more, it's an unreimbursable expense. Either way, it's really an unreimbursable expense. You're getting the $50, and if you don't spend anything, if you don't eat for the week, it would all be income. But each time you make an expense on your week that you cannot get reimbursed, it just goes out against that extra income. Does that make sense? I know there's a delay. So over here, just while we're doing that, I would set up a new one, and I would call it service, and I would call it speaker fee. And rate, I don't know what it is. I'm going to make it up. We'll make it 200. Okay, just so that everything's different. Tab, set it up. 68430. Okay. Blow this up so you can see it. And now you can see that I would have the per diem. Now I have it set up to be $100, but I think so. No, I think so is not a good answer for me saying I've explained it. So obviously I haven't. Mary says meals are an expense that you as a business owner incurred. Yes, but some speaker companies give you your per diem, and then they have a daily spending allowance on top of it. And what Yvonne is saying is in her company, per diem is that offset. Speaker fees are what she gets for speaking. In other companies, we just get one solid thing for speaking. So you can't reimburse it either way, Yvonne. The only difference is if you see that you stayed under $40 a day, you know that you made extra money on travel. If you go over that $40 a day, or $50 a day, I don't know what it was. I think I said 50 before. If you went over that $50 a day, then you lost money on that. And that's kind of that's just kind of the way it works. Yvonne, right, but Mary, doesn't that affect the amount of taxes to be paid? Well, always remember this. Your income, you pay taxes based on the amount of profit and loss you have. So if they pay you and you don't spend all that money, it becomes income and therefore taxable because it turns into profit. If you spend more than that amount of the money, because the way meals work through the IRS believes that we have to eat anyway. So we only get 50%. Correct. We only get 50%. According to IRS rules, you only get a 50% deduction for whatever your meals are. So if I went out to the big bowl of soup place, what did I say? $18, right? No. I'm only going to get to deduct $9. That's just kind of the way it works because the IRS says you're only allowed to deduct 50%. Now, I'm more than 50 miles away from home. There's other rules that apply. You do get per diem according to IRS rules for being out on the road. Please take that up with your tax professional. But you do get per diem for being out on the road. Anything that you spend goes against that per diem, and then they reduce it by anything that your company paid you. So, for example, let's say I was in Philadelphia, and I think Philadelphia you get $172 for a day. So if I got $172 for the day, and that counts for room, food, lodging, and food, all right? So I'm there for $172. My hotel room costs me $150. I've got $22 to eat, so I go out and I spend $22, and then my company gives me back 40, I don't get 172 plus 40. I get the 172, and then the 40 gets absorbed into it because I got paid back. And again, talk to your tax professional. Many of you have different state rules and other things that you have to deal with. Talk to your tax professional when it comes to that. Great stuff. All right. At least we have some good conversation going. All right. Let me see here. Are you back? Did I lose everybody? I thought I lost everything in quiet there for a second. It looks like I got everybody back. Okay. Oh, it ain't working the way I want it to. Doesn't make any sense. All right. That's what I wanted to go back to. Let me go. What the heck just happened here? Huh. I lost my chat box. You guys like are all gone. I can't see anybody or anything here. Oh, I can only hope that you guys still see I have 4 people here, but the whole chat is gone. I have no idea where anybody is. Oh, you're back. Okay. Oh, okay. It's all okay. I got you all back. All right, good. What I really want to start to show you now is some of the cool reports. Actually, somebody asked if I have a parrot. I do. He's in my office. His name is Ask Him. He's a blue and gold macaw. I thought it would be so cool if he never spoke. People would ask me, what's his name? I'd say, Ask Him. And now he doesn't shut up. And when he sees me on this microphone, he just starts to profess his love for me. It's just the way it is. He sees me over there. He's just getting excited, so I can't look over there because he'll start yelling. Okay, I wanted to take you to the reports because this is the part of the game where you can start to see where you're making money. It's under company financial and it's profit and loss by job. That's what we started to show you here. Okay, you can even do, and here's my favorite one, profit and loss by class. Imagine for a moment that you have like 8 different classes that you do, right? My favorite, my second favorite, my third favorite. You can see how much money you've brought in, how much commissions have come in, what have been your expenses, and you're breaking it out by class. This gives you the ability to start to plan what type of seminars you want. The fact of the matter is, I mean, I for a long time, I did project management. I didn't do so hot in project management. My sales were, I'll just share with you, I was averaging $12 per person. I wasn't making any money. I dropped it. And I went towards the stuff that I was making money with. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make money with project management. I've talked to 4 or 5 other folks, and they're making 30, 40 bucks a head. I couldn't make money doing it. It wasn't what I did well. So now I take a look, and then I can see all of the different topics that I have that make me money because of the way I've set everything up. See, everything is in the beginning of what you set up. And the reports work really, really well because of all the setup that we've done. All right. Now, other things I do want to talk to you about as far as some of the accounts go. I know some of us are out on the road. We have different credit card accounts. Folks, we should be setting them up as a credit card account. Control N, and you set it up as a credit card. Right, and it could be your MasterCard, your Miles MasterCard, and all those good things, and they should be kept track of separately. Remember, as you're charging those things, right? If I had a MasterCard, and we're going to make it $29,999, and save and close. No, I don't. Double click. Right, I got my hotel. Let's make it a Best Western. I know that some of us don't like some of them that are out there. We'll just deal with what we have. All right, vendor, and I paid $89, and it's going to go on a 68401. It's my 68402, sorry. All right. This is where I'm recording the expenses. You don't have to record the expenses again. When you make a payment, you just go back into here or back into your operating account, make the payment against your MasterCard. All your expenses are already done. Too many people wait until the end of the period when they get their financial statement, then they start putting it all in. You don't have to double enter it. If you're doing it the way I'm showing you, if you're doing it the way I'm showing you how to do it right now, right here, you enter it once and it's done. You make your payments, you submit things into your credit card company. And folks, this is all stuff that should be being done on a daily basis. And that's going to bring me to the receipt keeper, something I wanted to tell you about and show you about. I actually have some pictures that's what I've been trying to go to a couple times here, but I can't figure out how to get there. But what you want to do, don't go out and buy one of those nice valise ones that just has the pad on it and it's a flat folder on the other side. I get them at the dollar store. I get them at Walmart. They range anything from literally $1. The one I'm carrying right now, I paid $1 for. When you open it up on the left-hand side, it has multiple pockets. And what I do is I put all my travel itinerary in one of the pockets. All the receipts that I'm getting on the road, I put in another one of the pockets. And then I even take stickers for my speaker packs. And I put a sticker on each POF with what my top packs are. And then I don't have to write it down. And I have all those put together in there. I don't go anywhere without that receipt keeper. And here's the thing. In the morning when that hotel slides it underneath the door, I take a picture with my cell phone, or I sit down at when I'm setting up my day and I enter it right into QuickBooks. There's no need for us to be doing this stuff on the weekends. I'm not trying to preach to you. What I'm trying to do is we need to be at home with our families. I know myself, my wife appreciates it when I'm focused on things that she needs done around home and stuff like that. Do this stuff while you're out on the road. Then the other thing is, many times when I'm sitting in the airport, I hit send, I'm done. My stuff is in by the time I get on the plane on Friday night. This is a powerful, powerful way to get some of that stuff done for you. So, and then the other thing I did want to share with you, I have something here for you. It's a free gift. It's not going to cost you anything. It is an Excel spreadsheet for you. This is how I keep track of my numbers while I'm on the road. Every day I log in. It tells me what my amount of money for the month is, what my dollars per person is as I'm going through. This is an Excel spreadsheet. If you use Excel, That one is totally done for you. I've been using it now. Actually, a year ago, I had a different rendition. This year, well, midway through, 3/4 of the way through last year, I upgraded it. That's what I've been using. I can tell you by day, by week, by month, by run, what my numbers are. I compare myself to myself. And I'm just a firm believer. How do you know you're getting any better if you don't have anything to compare it to? So I'm going to ask you if you want to download it. There's a link there to download. If it doesn't download, contact me via email. My email is info@scottbarhold.com. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put that right in here for you. Hey, that is my email address for everybody in here. If you have any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to do it. If the link doesn't work, I know the last time I did this, I had some huge link problems. By now, everybody should have also seen that you should have gotten the QuickBooks 7 Deadly Sins. So you should have that one as well. And let me just click on there. So there you go. All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions on anything or anything specific that they'd like to discuss? I know that there's a delay, so I'll wait. And then again, just like last time, I know that some of the folks that are on here, maybe you've not done QuickBooks before, maybe you have done it before, maybe it's been, maybe it's a struggle, maybe you don't feel comfortable doing it. There's also an offer on there. I'm hoping it should have just come up on your screen. It's QuickBooks Setup done for you. I can set up your QuickBooks for you. I've been doing it. I've been working with QuickBooks since 1995, been teaching it since 2001. Literally, I've taught well over 25,000 people how to do this. And I've worked with business owners and stuff like that. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, I've shown you everything you need. That is the truth. There's nothing that's been held back. I didn't hide anything. But if you want it done for you, it's as easy as clicking on the button, filling out the form. It's $97. I will take your QuickBooks. I'll set up all the chart of accounts. I'll set up your customers. I'll set up all of your items. I'll set up your vendors, get all that set up for you, send it back out to you. My turnaround is usually less than 24 hours just because I have the templates to do it. I've done it for so many others. And then somebody asked me last time when I did this, would I be willing to work with them with some coaching for a while? And I'll share with you what I do with some of my other clients. It's no different than you. It's $147, and you can do it once a month. You get me every week if you do it. But it's $147 for a month, and you can do month to month, or you can do a package a month. Whatever you want to do. I want to help you be effective as much as I can. And then one person did ask me this week. I got an email from. They're not on the call tonight, but they did say that they were interested and they were going to look at the replay. If you do not have a current version of QuickBooks, or if your version is outdated, I can send you to a website that you can get it for probably a very competitive price, if not less than what you can get it anywhere else. So again, if that's something you're interested in, give me a buzz and we will take care of that as well. Deidre, is there something specific that you'd like to learn? I said I see that you'd like to learn some more, and you can email me privately if you'd like. Mary, thank you. Did I cover all of your questions? I know you and I were supposed to get together a week ago, but it never happened, Mary. So if there's any questions, if there's anything I can answer for you, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. Mary, I would be more than happy to sit down and go over stuff. The biggest problem, some of the stuff that I got from you when I was trying to look at it on the screen, by the time I blew it up that I could see it, it was not legible. So yeah, we could do a screen sharing session. I'd be willing to do it. Deirdre, here's the deal. The question is the question that came up is, should I get QuickBooks or QuickBooks Pro? The question I'm going to ask you, Deirdre, besides, oh, Mary, okay, I'd love to sit and chat with you about stuff. Deirdre, do you do other things besides contract training? The difference between QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online. Well, all right. Now, I'm going to let Mary answer for QuickBooks Online. I will tell you it's a personal preference for me. I don't like QuickBooks Online. For me, I don't like the stuff out in the Ethernet. I'm a traditional accountant. I like my stuff in my hands where I can touch it, and I like to know I have control of it. Mary says you can log into my QuickBooks Online. Okay, I'll do that. As far as the online goes, for me, I just don't prefer it. I like to have control of my stuff. The biggest difference between QuickBooks online and QuickBooks Desktop for me is I can get to my stuff faster. I deal with multiple companies. When you're dealing with QuickBooks Online, you're allowed to have one file per license, whereas online, I can deal with any one of my 40 clients at any given moment, and with a few clicks of the button, I'm in their QuickBooks file. QuickBooks, you know, if you have multiple corporations that you're dealing with under multiple QuickBooks files, you're going to have to buy multiple licenses to do it online. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and Mary, if you could help me out in here, I believe QuickBooks Online is like $29 a month. If that's not, or if you have a more correct number, please put that in the chat box, because I do not want to be giving bad information. It's $29 a month, unless I get corrected. And what happens is you never own it. But the good news is you're never behind. As far as some of the other things that you have there, Deirdre, if you're keeping track of that all under one corporation, you could probably do QuickBooks Online. If you're tracking it in more than one corporation, I personally believe it's better to have it on your computer. Now, Deirdre, do you have a Mac or do you have a PC? Yes, that's ask them. Well, if you bought a PC just for QuickBooks, go out and get QuickBooks Pro. Unless you have a dying need to want to do it online, QuickBooks Pro will probably handle everything you need and be more proficient for what you do. It makes it much easier. Mary, and here's and you can see it out in the public. Mary loves the online option because she can sign in and do all the stuff while she's at the airport or wherever she is. It's $29 a month. It's a deal for her, and she can even do it on her cell phone or Kindle. God love you, Mary. I think that's great. I can do it on my laptop. I have it everywhere I am. Also, I so much prefer the desktop version, but there are people out there that love the online. I'm not going to try and talk to, well, yes, I will try to talk them out of it, but I don't usually succeed. It's just a personal preference for me. Are there any other questions? Anything that I can drill down to be more specific. One thing I would ask after this is over, I don't have an evaluation page because I didn't figure out how to make one. But if you would go onto the Facebook site where you guys heard about this and just let them know what you thought, good, bad, or indifferent, I feel strong enough that it's worth it. The reason I did this one, I was not planning on doing a second one after we did the first one. I literally had about 25 or 30 people ask me to do it again. I had 28 people registered for tonight and only 4 showed up. So you never know what's going to happen. Now, I know a lot of folks are traveling and things, so maybe they can't get there. I do thank you for showing up. It's so important to me. I don't think any of our information is private, so why try? I don't understand the question, Mary. You don't think any of your information is private. I don't understand. But I do value you folks for being here. I know that you took an hour and a half out of your busy lives to spend time to learn about this thing called QuickBooks. I want to make myself available to you any way, shape, or form that I can. You have my email address. I will also give you, that is my direct phone number. Yeah. Wow, Deidre, I hope you're not the same contract company that I am, because my no-show rate is, out of a room of about 30, I'll miss about 4 to 5 people. So I'm hoping that well, okay. And I guess that's okay with you. If it's online, it's all cool. For me, it's accounting, and I don't like what I make being publicized anywhere that it doesn't have to be. Anytime, Deirdre, and again, you have my contact information, you have my email. If you need help, if you're looking for the QuickBooks, I have your email address. I'll send you a link where you can get it for a little bit less expensive. I always love to help save people money. Sheila, again, that's great. Like I said, I have, not only do I do this for the contract training, but I also do clients' books, many companies. So obviously I don't want their stuff out in the Ethernet. And then, as many of you know, I travel around. I'm a magician and I do magic and things. So I keep that stuff. That all goes into one big company. So it's not a big company. One file. And that's how I keep track of it. All right, Mary. I will be using it as I get up and running. Well, folks, I don't have anything else. If you have something else, I'm here till 9:30. You have every opportunity. Give me a buzz, give me a call, Facebook me, FaceTime me, whatever you need to do. And Mary, I definitely want to get in touch with you for other things that we possibly talked about. Obviously, this was an hour and a half. It's a crash course, but it'll get you through stuff. Oh, well, I'm home. The only day that's bad for me, you think accounting is magic, Deirdre? I love it. Actually, it really is magic. And just like a magician, when you get in trouble, it's just who you're in trouble with. Magic, you're in trouble with the audience. IRS, when you start to do tax magic, you're in trouble with the IRS. So, Mary, I'm home all week this week. The only day that is bad for me, I'm literally doing a magic show for a country club for Easter on Thursday night. So my time, I will be performing from 6 to 8, and I have to get there by 5. So for you, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 8, 7, 6, till 5 o'clock. And then I'll be driving home for an hour, and I should be in good shape. So Mary, I'd love to sit and chat with you. Actually, I'd love to sit and chat with any of you folks here. My bird is like chomping at the bit because I haven't paid attention to him in about 45 minutes. So. But I'm here till 9:30. If you have questions, I'm just sitting here letting the chat box be open. I'll look forward to it, Mary. Do you have a time in mind? And you can give me your time, and I'll just add 3 hours to it. All right, Yvonne. And you have all my contact information. Yvonne, are you on the road this week or are you home? Bye-bye, Mary. Talk to you tomorrow. Joy, you've been awful quiet. Are you still out there? Sheila, Altoona, PA. Boy, I bowled there. Now, are you traveling or is that where you're from, Sheila? Oh, Yvonne is home. Gotta love it. Yeah, Yvonne, give me a call whenever you are comfortable doing so. I'd like to ask you a few questions as well. Having nothing to do with QuickBooks, you asked about my bird. I assume you have birds as well? Wow. Oh, X7Y7. Sheila, something tells me I already met you. I'm not sure. Oh, Yvonne, I used to have a Quaker parrot. His name was Wishes. But we did some remodeling in the house, and when they sprayed the texture on the walls, he was outside all day, but the fumes didn't go, and it wound up killing him. It took me 3 years before I was ready to get my blue and gold. He's my little fuzz bucket. I walk by, he says hello and I love you. My wife walks by, all of his feathers puff up, and he goes, hi. Sheila, no, we didn't do Photoshop. Sheila. No, that's not Sheila Oliver. Sheila. I thought you were a different Sheila. Oh. Well, you're in sunny Florida now, aren't you, Miss Sheila? Are you up in Gainesville, Sheila? You know, if you move down here, you have to stop rooting for the Patriots. That's part of the rules of being in Florida. You know that, right? They should have told you that at the border. I think I'm dying. Well, welcome to Florida. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, I mean, I don't want to cut us short, but still rooting for my Pats. See plenty of Pats gear in Florida. No. They're all offloading it. They're trying to send it out of the state, Sheila. Pats, no, nobody roots for the Pats here in Florida. Now, we'll let you root for the Jets if you really want to root for a Northeast team because they could use all the help they can get. All right. Oh, I think I insulted Sheila. I have no viewers left. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to hang up. It looks like everybody's done here. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Please leave a message out on Facebook for what you think in case we do this again. Until then, have a great night. If you need anything, give me a call. Bye-bye.